will we have record turnout?
Well, we've already seen in early voting just how much that huge turnout we've seen, particularly among the Latino community, really that surge in Nevada, we've seen a surge in Florida, we've seen a surge in parts of Texas. So it's going to be really interesting tonight to see how much turnout we see. We saw a lot of efforts from his campaign, interestingly, to almost suppress her turnout, particularly among women, particularly among African Americans. So we're going to have to see how those numbers, how much enthusiasm is really there.
Is weather in play anywhere?
I don't think weather's, I mean, look, it's a presidential election. People turn out. It's less of a factor than it normally is in, say, a midterm. We see it's a beautiful day here in New York. We've seen some long lines. We see pictures of long lines in many areas of the country today.
Hey, Megan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, we'll get to hear from them early. I mean, how soon, what's the earliest where we can not categorically say, but pretty much say the election is going towards this candidate?
I think what we're going to be looking at is Pennsylvania, as you say, but North Carolina is going to be a big early state to see how that turns out. If she wins in North Carolina, it really limits his pathway to the presidency. He really needs to take that state. I know both of the campaigns are really parsing those numbers to see what we're going to see. Then absolutely, too, in Florida, when we see that, he has no pathway other than Florida, frankly. And if she takes Florida, if she takes it particularly early, it's going to be a pretty short night.
Yeah, Megan, I mean, do you think he'll concede? I mean, it's a loaded question. It's a big question. It depends on various imponderables, doesn't it?
Look, his son, Don Jr., was out this morning saying if he does have this sort of, there's a big gap, if it's what he called a legit win, he will concede. Now, look, that's a little bit of a different tone than we've seen him take, and we're going to have to see if it's a really tight race, if we're counting the ballots in the urban areas in particular late into the night. Both of them have hundreds of lawyers ready to spring into action for any ballot questions. And he does have that narrative still of it being a rigged election. If there is some controversy, I think he'll try and take it late tonight.
Both campaign headquarters are in New York City. It's going to be a pretty exciting night. Do you anticipate any problems anywhere in the country tonight?
We're really focused on it. We're really focused on two fronts. We're focused on really old school, what I'd call intimidation at the polls, people sort of preventing people from actually physically voting. And then we're focused on the other side, which is sort of new dynamic over the past decade or so, which is possible high-tech interference, hacking attempts. So we and many other people have a full team of people that are ready to look at this should we see any disruptions. Right now, we haven't heard it. It's still very early in the day. As you said, both campaigns are in New York tonight. She'll be standing under the highest glass ceiling in America. We'll see if she can break it open wide open tonight.
An area and a building that Donald Trump once wanted to take on. And
the irony is thick. In 2016, it's the last day, and I'm sure there's going to be several storylines to play.